So we're finally back in the Sky Bet Championship, and this place will be absolutely rocking come Saturday. Now, you may hear some noise in the background as everyone's getting prepared for the weekend, but that won't stop us having a great show. So get yourself a drink, sit down, and enjoy the next hour as we present to you Charlton TV Season Preview 25-26. Well, welcome back to Charlton TV, and we are pitchside, where it all began for us, really, back in 2020. I think it's fair to say we've seen some ups, we've also seen some downs, but there's lots to be positive about, and lots of fun to have on today's show. We'll have an in-depth look at Charlton's summer business. We'll give our reviews of the Addicts kits for the upcoming season. And we'll look ahead to that big home opener here on Saturday against Watford. And I'm delighted to be joined by the dream team that is Stevie Brownie, Kevin Lisbie and Sir Alan Curbishley. Are we all good, guys?
Yep.
Look, there's lots of positivity to talk about, but we have to start with a real negative. And that, of course, is the news of George Costa as well. Heart attack, dying at the age of just 53. Curbs, you speak about him a lot, and he made a big impact in such a short space of time, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when you consider the way he's been remembered at this club after only playing 26 games, is a testament to him and the way he performed here. And I think his career lifted off when he went back to Porto, and he was in a bit of a mess when he came to us because he'd been ostracised at Porto by the president. He needed to get out to play so he could go to the World Cup in Japan 2002. And the agent, Amadeo, who you probably might know, phoned me and said, look, George Costa. And I'd seen him in the summer playing for Portugal in the Euros. And he said he was available, but we had to move quick. That was on a Saturday. I was coming here for a game. So me and Richard Murray met him in the main stand there on Sunday night. And he signed for us there and then.
Brownie, you were a teammate of his, quite clearly. I mean, and when you think about the age of 53 as well, I mean, I've just turned 54, you're still 53. It's horrendous to think that. Tell us about what he was like in the dressing room.
Yeah, I think what you notice about George when he came into the building was very unassuming. So he comes in a Chrysler. You know, this is a guy that's got a stature, he's got a reputation, and he drives in his Chrysler. And it didn't matter whether he was playing a friendly at Welling or whether he was marking, Chelsea forward, Man United forward out of the game. George just done his job, got back in his car, went home, very unassuming. But the stature he carried when he trained and when he played, there was an aura, wasn't there, Curbs? There was just an aura about him. And some players who are good, they need you to know they're good. Some players just do their job, and that is all they're designed to do. Job, I know I'm good, I do a good job, I go home.
The interesting thing, when you bring someone in on loan like that, obviously he threatens a few people. And, a bit like
Fifth choice.
absolutely Brownie.
Fifth choice, I'll drop down to there.
And so the other defenders are looking at him closely, like, oh, he's brought him in. Is he better than me? Is he really, what's he got him for? Blah, blah, blah. But I think as soon as George came in,
listen.
everyone just accepted that, you know, he was here and he was playing.
Liz, you posted something really nice on social media as well. Give us your thoughts on George.
Yeah, he had a massive impact on my career and my life. As Brownie says, he walks into the building and you assume he's going to be a certain way, and for someone who had the career he had, he was so humbling. And even though he accomplished everything he did, and he came here to play games and get himself back in the Portuguese side, he was such a humbling person. And although he had a good career, he was grounded, and it made me think if he could be like that, then obviously there's no reason why I can't be humble in all my successes as well. So
it was interesting why we got him, because he had an altercation with the president of the club, who ostracised him basically, and he wasn't going to be playing for Porto, and unless he played somewhere, he wouldn't be able to go to the World Cup in 2002 in Japan. But the president wouldn't let him go anywhere in Portugal, obviously, so he had to go further afield. And then he comes to the Premier League, and you know, the rest is history for us. And as I say, for playing only 20-odd games, the way he was revered here just tells you what he did.
Yeah, shows the mark of the man as well as the player as well. Terrible, terrible news that we heard on Tuesday. The sad passing of George Costa of a heart attack, aged just 53. Well, look, let's get on to some very positive news, actually. I want to talk about you, Brownie. You've got a new role here at the club, is that right? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, new role in as much as, you know, it's an employment contract, but actually a lot of the stuff within the role is based on what I've been doing over the last 18 months. So, you know, I'll still continue to do the commentaries and I'll still continue to do the ex-players, etc., etc. But there's been a couple of things bolted on to the job description, of which, you know, I'll get my teeth into over the next couple of months. And basically, you know, I will continue the bulk of my work doing the TV stuff and the media stuff, but I can be manoeuvred around into any other roles as and when the club want me to.
You've always been versatile.
Always been versatile.
pitch,
Never
really.
appreciated though. I get appreciated now, Scotty, which is nice. You know, that's nice. That's a nice feeling that I've never had before.
The only thing what's happened to him is he's actually getting paid
Yeah,
for all the work that he's
getting
already
paid
doing.
properly for doing work.
Is
for
it longer
Charlton.
than a one-year contract? No, you don't have to answer that.
It's an employment contract. But you know, the youth ID talent part of the role is to you know, gain partnerships across, and it's not just one place or another. We'll go into Kent non-league clubs and we'll try and extend out and reach out to people in youth developments across Kent. It's to do, like, I've got Mark Fish in the background wanting to bring players over from South Africa. It's just to strengthen the identity underneath our academy. So you've got Tom Powell in charge of the academy, he does a great job, and I think what the club want me to do is just to try and strengthen Charlton's name within and around local communities, and also extending to any players that we have on foreign shores that may be able to do link-ups with Charlton. So, you know, there's quite a few things I've got to get my teeth into. Carry on with the ex-player stuff. We've got a golf day on September the 19th, which two of you are involved in, because
am I invited now?
you're invited. You're always invited.
I thought earlier on you said I wasn't. So
No, I
just
said
assumed
you
wasn't.
didn't play golf. That's different.
Oh, okay, all right,
That's
sorry.
different. So yeah, plenty of things to get my teeth into, Scotty, and just thankful and humbled that the club have put me on an employment contract.
Well, look, without being too soppy, I think it's absolutely right. I think you are, and I hate saying this, a Charlton legend. You are a Hall of Famer, and I think you're the perfect guy for it. So good luck going forward. Well, let's stop talking about Brownie, though, shall we? Can we talk about the coming season as well? How excited are you, Curbs, about what is coming up in the Sky Bet Championship?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the fixture list, that's the first thing. And you got, you know, the Leicesters and this one and that one. And obviously starting off with Watford. I just think it's going to be a real tough league. Obviously lots of ex-Premier League clubs. But that's going to be sold out most weeks. And it makes a big difference, I think, to the atmosphere at the ground. Our fans have responded, like this weekend, you know, nearly sold out, or the biggest crowd that we've had for a long while.
Home opener, yeah.
Yeah, biggest crowd. Yeah, so yeah, and I think everybody's looking forward to it. The stadium looks great, the pitch looks fantastic. Nathan, to be honest, has gone for it, I think, in terms of not being too loyal. He's recruited and quite heavily, and the club have backed him, so it'll be interesting to see how we go. But I don't think anybody can ask for much more than what they're going to get this weekend.
Well, look, I mean, you mentioned about that, and actually you said at the end of last season, I remember as well, don't be too loyal because you have to be a little bit ruthless. That is what's happened. Let's have a look at the recruitment with Nathan, Jim Rodwell, and the recruitment team has gone. And let's start with Charlie Kelman as well. And obviously he had a wonderful season, didn't he? On loan from QPR, but playing for Leyton Orient, 27 goals at Leyton Orient. And Liz, you would have seen a lot of him, wouldn't you? So what do you make of him as a player?
Oh yeah, I think it's a great signing. He's a clever, intelligent player. He's obviously played in the Championship before, but the season he had last, I went to watch him play at Leyton Orient a few times, and he's a classy player. He's someone that will score goals in every division. He's a leader as well. A lot of these games in the playoffs as well, he actually led the line, but he was almost like the captain of the team. And I know he scored 2 goals against Stockport at home, and he was calming everyone down. So he's got a calming presence about him as well. But I don't think it will faze him, and I think he'll be a great signing.
Is he not similar to Matty Garden?
Yeah, we was discussing that. It's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? Do you play those two together? Obviously we've got four good strikers now, so the manager, you know what it's like, you need 4 good strikers maybe in every position. So
I'm not too sure if Matty Gordon can play as a number 10. He's quite intelligent, isn't he? You know, instead of leading the line, and then you've got 2 out-and-out goal scorers in your front 4.
Yeah, well, you need that. You need strength and depth as the quality goes up. I mean, Liz has mentioned big statement actually. Who can play at any level. It is a jump from League One to Championship. Do you see him being able to do that?
Oh, I think he's certainly got to prove himself. He's been at a Championship club that really didn't give him the platform to prove himself at that level, so we're giving him that platform. Let's hope the momentum and the experience of that League One campaign and scoring goals and giving him the confidence and belief in his own ability, that he jumps into the Charlton side and hits the ground running. But there is a gap. You know, there's a gap from League 2 to 1 to the Championship, and the biggest one is Championship to Premier League. And there's some players we've signed that are going to be looking forward to this Championship campaign because they're going to want to prove themselves 100%. And it's a bold move from Charlton signing some of the better League One players from last year, because if they do hit the ground running, if they do prove themselves, they suddenly become quite worthwhile assets. You know, so it's going to be an interesting year.
Nathan talked about, I mean, we all talked about it being very solid defensively last season, 26 clean sheets, but it's about he talked about adding goals elsewhere as well. Harry Nibbs, is that where he kind of comes in, the sort of goals being shared about as well, having an attacking midfielder like him?
You can't be too reliant on 1 or 2 players. It's got to be shared out a bit more. And, you know, you like to think that the back 4, in terms of set plays, etc., are they going to contribute? The centre halves, you know, and midfield players. I mean, what sort of target is Nathan gonna set each department? You know, for me, I used to sit down and say I want at least 10 to 12 goals from the back 4 or set plays. Midfield players, I want a couple of them nearly getting into double figures, and obviously up top you need 2 players that are going to score 15 to 20. So let's hope that Nathan has brought the players in that can do that.
Well, his 32 goals and 12 assists in what, 2 seasons at Reading suggests that he can do that, doesn't it?
I like midfielders like that. He's powerful. He likes to get forward. He's dynamic as well, and he's got a presence about him as well. So every time I've watched him play, he's excited me. I've never seen him had a bad game, and I'm looking forward to see him in this team. Last year, the team responded to the crowd here every time we had big games. So it'll be interesting if these players can come in and do the same thing, respond to big crowds and play under these conditions. And I think the fans will be behind their backs for large parts of the season.
Yeah. OK, well, it is the opening day, of course, here on Saturday. And we want to have a little bit of fun and look back at the historic archives of some opening day seasons here at Charlton. Let's have a look at the opening day win against Manchester City back in 2000 here at the Valley. We have to talk about 3 great people that here are at the game with us. Manager Alan Curbishley, the starting striker Kevin Lisbie, and the substitute Steve Brown.
He didn't start, did he? Liz started.
Should have scored about 3.
Oh, is this your bad left foot? Yeah, this is the dodgy left foot strike, isn't it? Yeah, I remember it well.
What do you remember about this game, Liz?
I remember I wasn't down to start. I think we got 2 injuries, didn't we? Because I think the week before or something like that, and Curbs called me in his office and said that I'll be starting. But yeah, listen,
Derek Hales won't come back, so Liz, do you want to start?
yeah. So listen,
Is that you?
that was me that hit the bar from 2 yards.
yards,
Yeah, but listen, it was a great occasion, Curbs will tell you, for the club as well to be back in the Premiership, and I think we could have won this game more than 4, and we were excellent. Everyone was excellent that day.
Curbs, after that game, did you feel staying up was more likely in your second stint in the Premiership?
I don't think you can take that first game. I mean, we beat Southampton 5-0 in our first game, you know, the previous couple of seasons. So, no, you can't take too much for it, but obviously you want to win your first game and win it at home. And that means you can go the next couple of games without picking anything up, and you may not be down there. So, yeah, it's a massive result winning your first game.
Did you get on, Brownie?
I don't think so. I think this was a season. I had to be patient, Scotty.
we're not warming up in front of Curbs with 5 minutes to go?
No, didn't. I think my contract had shifted into a more, relevant sum of money just for not getting on. So I wasn't so fussed in these days. But yeah,
Look, got a better contract now.
Yeah, well, it's not far off. But
Andy Huntley scoring days, like we
Yeah.
spoke about him earlier, isn't it?
Yeah,
Underrated, weren't he?
well, not by us.
Yeah.
Funny enough, yeah, I think he's probably a bit underrated from the viewing perspective. But in terms of playing with the guy, I've said this many times, he did everything well. He was good in the air, both feet, scored on both sides, run the channels, held the ball up. He was just a really good all-rounder.
And a good lad.
And a great lad, yeah, and he still is. I stay in contact with him with the ex-players, and he'll come over again, and hopefully he'll get involved in the game when Liz
He'll
gets
play the
round
golf
to
then,
it.
will he?
And he won't, yeah, he just played in the West Brom one, and I haven't got after him about that yet, so I'll get on to him. But yeah, I remember if you want a perspective of someone that didn't make this is Kev's horrible left foot shot, right? If you
They could have picked that up, couldn't they? That was a pass
I can
back.
remember that from 25 years ago.
We actually scored from that, by the way.
it is an
We actually
assist.
scored from that, by the way, Brandon. Before you
I've
continue.
distracted myself. I can't remember what I was saying. But no, if you want a perspective of a guy sitting on the bench, this squad had so much about it that I put the result to one side of 4-0 start. There was something about this squad. We knew we were going to stay up this year. We knew we were.
Just had a mixture of both.
Yeah. And we had strength in depth. There was physicality. There was stamina. There was pace.
How many times are you going to
Goals.
show this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it
We've got
ends up
3 more replays.
No, but
apparently.
it ends up in a goal, don't it? Yeah.
That's an assist nowadays, isn't it?
There was just something about it was going to get the job. That's horrible goalkeeping, isn't it? But there you go. Not like me to pick it up.
Any other memories of that day?
Uh,
You're looking young there, Curbs. Look at
Yeah.
that. Little bit of a flick as well.
I used to sit up first half, always sit upstairs. For 2 reasons. One, you can see much more of the game, and B, I was away from Mervyn because he used to wind me up and go, look at him, look at Brandy, look at him, look at him. So I always just go upstairs for the first half.
You could have had about 6.
That was close if I couldn't get my hips around it, Randy, to be honest.
Can you imagine now?
Liz, how nervous did you feel?
It's funny because I always speak about reserve team football and how important it is for my development. And I've played with all these players before in reserve team football. And when you get here, it's just about handling your nerves in terms of the crowd. But in terms of who I played with these lads for years, and there was a real understanding and appreciation for, as Brownie said, of the talent within the squad. And we had a lot of senior pros that would make you feel comfortable in games.
That's the goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kins outside of his right toe.
It was the whole move, actually. If you rewind that whole move, there's support positions, it's at pace, there's players in front of the ball, support behind the ball. Yeah.
The reason I asked you, Liz, about were you nervous? Obviously, you were a youngster at the time. You didn't know you were going to play. I was probably at my most nervous first game of the season because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Pre-season, whether good or bad, it's just about trying to stay fit and get ready. You're not quite 100% fit. And you've got this season, these next 10 months ahead of you where ups and downs, you're not quite sure what's going to happen. And actually, on a group WhatsApp with my old youth team, so including Carlo, Mickey Bennett, Ronnie Borge, lots of others, Jeff Thomas. I feel like I've got to mention all of them now. I'm out of order. But Mickey put on, there was an Instagram thing saying, I don't know why, but the last couple of months have been great. The next 10 months are going to be decided by 11 men I don't even know. And that's like a fan's point of view, And it just goes to show how, even from a player's or a fan's point of view, we have no idea what's going to happen this coming season.
Yeah, it was one of those as well, as you say about my Instagram post with Costa. It was a pleasure going to war with him, and we felt like that every time you step on the field, you're right, is you and 10 other people that are fighting for one thing, and I loved it, especially the first game of the season. It meant you done something right. It meant you was fit, and it meant a new start. And it's a fresh start, especially for a striker. You score a goal straight away, you're up and running. So I was always keen to play that first game of the season.
Even though you could have had a hat-trick. Let's move on, shall we? It has been a busy summer for us. Let's talk a little bit about us, shall we? But pre-season has been a different for some members. Now, let's start with me, shall we? Well, I actually sent a Curbs picture. Can we have a look at that?
No, yeah.
So that's me in Mexico drinking a bit of Corona. Because Curbs does that all the time, doesn't he? You know? What do you mean someone else's legs? Why are they someone else's legs?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the monitor's a long way from me. I can barely see it.
They've not gone down. They've not gone down. Anyway, I definitely did a Curbs there. So this is me again. This is on the beach in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
There we go. This is in. I honestly didn't realise we were going to show all these photos. I just sent a few into Tom Rubishaw.
Is that the room?
Let's keep on going. Let's keep on rolling. This is in Guadalajara. So that was great. And that is the Estadio Akron, where a stadium they're going to use at the World Cup next year. Estadio Akron. It's a Stadio Stadium, and Akron is the big company.
It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. No pictures of the kids or the missus,
No,
but
no.
a couple of cans of Corona.
Great. I mean, were they even there? Curbs? Were they even there? I've got a picture of a golf scorecard, so I don't even know if they were there.
Two cans of Corona.
So I play golf out there, and my wife's best friend's husband is a big golfer, plays off 12, wasn't happy for shooting 80, and I got my best score ever, 87. So I'm not quite sure if it was the altitude or something. It might have been the Corona. Let's move swiftly on, shall we? Brownie, you want to talk about your trip to Southend?
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
quite Mexico,
I was a bit
it?
worried about what was coming up there.
So talk us
Someone
through.
been to Vietnam. This
Talk
is
us through
right.
this.
So
It was scary, wasn't it?
it wasn't scary, but they had harnesses up there.
I did ask for Benny
and they
Hill
wanted you to
music.
get in this harness,
It looks
attach it to that rope there, and then slide down. So what I did was sneakily, I didn't want to put. There was only 3 harnesses up there, so I shouted down to the fella, 3 harnesses, 4 of us. I'm coming down without one, and I just quickly rushed down. But yeah,
You ain't quickly run
no,
down
I didn't.
anyway.
Sorry, I've used the wrong word, Kev. I shuffled.
It's like you're going to do a bungee jump or something. Come on, Brownie.
I wasn't necessarily
go.
happy about
Just go.
getting my leg out to start with, and once I was out, I was fine. But
Just
yeah,
go.
it wasn't that safe, Scotty. And I'd like to see 1 or 2 of the journalists we know scramble up there. Moose
names?
springs to mind.
Okay.
I think he'd get wedged there.
Who?
Moose, that'd be a safety hazard.
Moose would struggle with that.
Yeah, I
big
think
time.
he'd get wedged.
Do you think pre-neops?
No, I was safe as houses anyway. I'm more worried about the fella.
It's a long way, innit?
Yeah, he got in trouble, the fella down below, because I didn't put my harness on. His boss comes running out in a minute, and they all have to put their harnesses on.
Health and safety, Guff.
Yeah, but it's not for the faint-hearted in Southend away if you're on the gantry.
Is that slow motion or is
Do
that?
you know what? I think we'll come out because this could take ages.
Yeah.
to do the rest
Oh,
of the show.
listen.
I'm
Steady
sure we can
wins
put it on the
race,
website if
Kurt.
anyone
Slow
does
and
want
steady
to
wins
watch
the race.
all 15 minutes of Brownie going down to 20 minutes. Now, Liz, you were at Wilston, weren't you? Had your own challenge. Here is Charlton TV's Charlotte Richardson as well, climbing the ladder.
You can do it. You're right, you're nearly there. Doing so well.
Do you know what? We only came out, she was a few seconds away, so time it, Brownie versus Charlotte. Took a lot longer. Curbs, your summer, I imagine, wasn't involved
got nothing on me, have you?
climbing ladder. No, we didn't. We haven't actually. But I mean, Judith, come on, Judith Chalmers, you must have been around the world.
No. Been behaving myself in the summer. I go away when it's cold.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Just chase the sun. You're like a golfer, aren't you?
Yeah. But I stay here during the summer.
Or here in the valley.
Oh no. But I stay here, play a bit of golf, enjoy. Wake up in the morning, think about me. They don't like that. Brownie don't like that.
When he put it back. Well done, Alan.
That's what you got to do.
I still think it's the right decision not to play Brownie in that particular game.
I
First
don't care
game of
what
the
he
season.
says. I don't care what he says.
Now, while I was out of the country and Liz was unavailable, there was a Charlton TV night out as well, wasn't there? Who wants to? Let's have a look at the picture of that.
Oh yeah.
So there's Greg, Tell, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Brown Dog, Curbs, and Lucy as well.
Was
And no Tom.
We've not done Lucy any favours there, have we?
Who took that picture then?
I'm not going to say a word.
Who could have took it? They got someone to take it.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone took it. That was on the group WhatsApp. I sent that to Tom because that was on the group WhatsApp. Do you not see it?
I don't.
No
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
No, you don't look at WhatsApp, does he? He's still on text on the Nokia one. Anyway, it was a fantastic summer for sure. Let's bring it back round to present day and talk about on the pitch, shall we? And take a look at another summer signing, Rob Apter, as well. Brownie, what can you tell us about him?
Yeah, well, I had my first viewing of the team on Saturday at Southend, and what this kid's going to bring is energy and athleticism in the final third. If we can get the ball to his feet, 1v1 in that final third, he will drop his shoulder, outside to come in, and if he gets inside, he doesn't need asking twice. There's a delivery coming in or there's a shot, and he knows where the goal is. And there was a couple of good deliveries early in the second half. Had made to convert. Like I said, I think what you've got is you've gone from a real physical wing back last year who had a bit of power and a bit of pace, but maybe not technically as good as Apter in the final third, to someone who's technically gifted, football intelligent, but I'm not sure defensively, and I think it's right that he plays on that right hand side, because there's Kane Ramsey's your safety net, I think that Nathan will be happy to leave 1v1 at times, and he'll have to step up to the plate defensively if we do that. But Apter's going to be a good outlet on that right hand side. It's just he's different than what we've had though. He's much smaller, a bit nippier, technically not bad.
You like the look of him cutting inside and that left foot as well?
Yeah, I've watched him play, and he's almost like a throwback a little bit. He's just all attack. He wants to take, as Brownie said, the first time he gets the ball, first thing he thinks about is taking the play on, and he can go both ways as well. He does prefer to come inside and get a shot off, but the games I've watched, if he gets that side, he delivers straight away. And I think we've got some big strikers there who will appreciate his deliveries once he gets on the outside. But as I say, he will come in and he will get his shots off as well, and he's consistent with that as well.
Now, as well as some good attacking players that can add some goals for this coming season, we've also got a lot of good experience in defence coming in as well, in the form of goalkeeper Thomas Kaminsky, defenders Amari Bell and Reece Burke, and a versatile midfielder Joe Rankin Costello as well. And let's start with the keeper Kaminsky. I mean, someone who was very good in Luton's Premier League season 2 years ago and been outstanding in the Championship at both Luton and Blackburn, Brownie. I mean, I liked him in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think that we've sort of got him now where we were 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, and I think it's a position, it's fair to say, where if you're going to add someone that's in their 30s, that's a great position to add a player in their early 30s, because you get that added bonus of experience. It looks like he's got good distribution from what I could see Saturday. There's a calmness about him. I don't know about his form. I'm going to take your word for it that in the last couple of seasons he's been in great form for Luton and playing regularly. But from what I saw Saturday, there's a calmness to him, and that's not to say there wasn't with the two keepers we've had in the previous seasons, but there's that level of experience that comes with playing in the Championship and higher that is invaluable.
Well, he certainly knows how to try and make some saves anyway, because it's been poor for Luton obviously in the last 2 seasons. I'm not saying he's been absolutely brilliant, but I think he's a really good signing for us. I really do.
Yeah, but when you bring a keeper in and you put him straight in, the other guys have done really well. We've won promotion with the other guys, but hold on. He's coming in and sort of puts everybody in their place a little bit. He's made some big decisions, Nathan, and quite rightly so, because we are looking at this Championship, and it's like Premier League 2. It's so tough, and we're going to be playing against some top sides. So you need the squad, but I think that he identified probably before the final, if we go up, this is what I need to do. I need to do it. And I know that a couple of the players that have come, the opposition managers have been really disappointed that they've lost them. Stevie Bruce and one or two others. So that bodes well for us, and you need the competition.
Amari Bell and Reece Burke as well. Reece Burke can say, I kept Gyökeres quiet, and look where he is right now. That was in the playoff final a few years ago. I mean, Nathan knows him as well, knows them both. How important is that from a manager's point of view?
And I think that helps. With so many new signings coming in, if you've got a couple of players that know worked with you before, and some of the players might go back in the dressing room and go, and they go, no, this is it because this works now. Just get on with it. And you do need to bring in a couple of players that are completely on your side, But it's an interesting one because he's gone to the board and gone, look, we've done great, we've won promotion, but I need to do this. And obviously one or two of the board members might have gone, oh, and we already got 2 keepers, and we already got, so he's had to, be forceful, and they've backed him. So I don't think there's any complaints. Let's just hope it all gets off to a great start this weekend.
Yeah, with Bell and Burke, I think if we can keep them fit, they will be excellent players. That's been the problem for them over the last couple of seasons. And Liz, Joe Rankin Costello as well brings some championship experience into that midfield, which is important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. You speak about the keeper as well. I know we speak about the age, but it's going to get to a point where you're going to need some experience in this squad. It's a long season. It's a difficult season, and as Curb said, it's like a Premiership 2 now. So I think it's so important to have players who have played here and established and good enough to play and handle the conditions of what's to come in the season, because there's some massive games starting on Saturday. But to have experience in this league is valuable, I think.
Okay, well, the busy summer has been off the pitch too, with Charlton partnering with Reebok, and the new kits have been flying off the shelf. Let's take a look at all 3 of them, shall we?
Taking it just like this.
And as we've already seen, Liz is wearing it. Liz, how is it? You having that kit? Clearly you are.
Loving it. Absolutely loving it.
It's got his name on the back.
Great colours.
Yeah, got my name on the back as well. Do you
9
want
as
to have a
well.
look at
Turn
that?
around.
Oh, is it?
He's
Yeah.
never been a 9. Never. 19. Never been a 9.
As soon as I saw this kit, I did message Brownie and I was like, Brownie, have a look at this kit, mate. This is the best kit I've ever seen. He wasn't.
He said, "Have you seen the 3rd kit?" I said, "I hope it's something traditional."
as Brownie
knowing what it was, and he just put back a crying face.
It feels good, though.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm gonna get it. All my family gonna get one as well. So
What was it you said to me just before?
about
You said you're thinking of...
as I put it on, it was like a energy that came to me, thinking I could do it again.
And what did I say?
And then you said, "Let it go, Kev. You've had your time,"
Yeah.
and you are spot on.
It's
I've
the
had
time
my
for the next generation, especially in the
Yeah,
Lisbie family. We'll come
100%.
on to that a little bit later.
100%.
But Curbs, new kits.
Did you ever care about kits?
But from a manager's point of view, if you've got a new deal coming in with a new company, is that mean that you
Yeah, but
in any way sort of saying, does that mean I can have more money?
RSK, as you know, we know the people from RSK. Really pleased that they're the sponsors, and they're really at the front of that shirt. Look at it, RSK. I'm not looking at Kevin or anything else.
I know, I'm getting a bit worried.
But no, the shirt's the shirt. It's the red one.
no,
It's
we
the-
know-
listen, it's the red
We know
one.
Alan Ryder very
No,
well,
it's
don't
the
we?
red
So
one,
well
isn't it?
done for
It's the
sponsoring
red
again.
one.
It's the red one,
It's the red one.
absolutely. Although I like the white one we had back in the day in the early 90s, I must admit, but the red one for me.
Some players didn't like the white one.
No, I like the black one. I like that black one. Yeah, but
I know you're seen as a fashion expert, aren't you?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
tell us
If you
what
want do you want my take on
We
it?
do.
Yeah, it was always about the shorts, wasn't it? When you were
Oh,
playing,
excellent,
always about the
excellent.
shorts, and you put them on, you go, oh no, I've got to wear them all year. They look terrible. It wasn't so much about the top because you could just adjust the size, but the shorts, you didn't get a choice, they just came and you put them on, and if they looked terrible, that was that.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it.
But actually, and just to finish on this, the bigger picture here is a new deal with Reebok. It shows the club's moving forward, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a different world going into the Championship. As Brownie mentioned, going perhaps into the Premier League, it's just a different world. And we've got out of that league. You know, it was tough. It was tough to play in, I think, for the players. Certain games, you know, lack of atmospheres. I think we're going to benefit, hopefully, from the atmosphere now because, as I said earlier, the clubs in this league, they're going to sell their end, and we're going to hopefully sell our bit, and it's going to make a lot of difference. I know we appreciate the fans, but I don't think they appreciate the difference they make when there's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I agree. I say that to any fan.
There's also, if you look around, there's been some work done here. All the exits have been smartened up. The pitch looks absolutely amazing. And actually, as we strolled in here, we were sat in the Jimmy Seed stand just half hour before we come on, and you are actually starting to get a bit excited. It's Championship football. It's going to be 20,000 plus here, and it feels like, you know, Charlton's back where Charlton should be, and if we can get all our ducks in a row, you should be pushing towards the top end, but not immediately. I think everybody is on the understanding that the board have done all they can in terms of backing Nathan. There's been a lot of money spent. He's spent it on, what, 9? Is it 9 or 10? You can tell me. And I just think that puts us in a great position, strength and depth-wise, to be able to do what we need to do this year, and that is stay in this league. If you look back at when, was it 2019 with Bowyer? You know, he didn't get anything. Got no backing, no money, loan players left, right and centre, and he started well, and we just couldn't sustain it because the strength and depth wasn't there. Everything's in place, I think, including the improvements that we see around us, for it to be a year where we can achieve the goals that are set.
Yeah, actually, the guys who are helping rebuild help renovate, it's actually keeping quite quiet for us. It's very good of them.
You know what the interesting thing is, obviously we've gone into another league, and I used to sit down with Richard Murray every pre-season, and we'd discuss where we felt we should be in the league or whatever, and we never really went over the top, but, you know, whatever. And I'd like to, you know, if you had Nathan here and the board, where do you think we're going to be? And sort of have that sort of benchmark. And, you know, it may be lower than what a lot of the fans think. It may be higher, I don't know, but you've got to be sensible and realistic. And this is a tough old league. And, you know, so I'd just like to think number one priority is to stay in it. Yeah. That's without a doubt. But it could be a lot better than that.
Okay, well, let's carry on with the summer spending then, shall we? And talk about Tanto Olaofe. He joined us from Stockport County. And Brownie, he caught the eye when he played against us in March, didn't he? Yeah,
there was not too many that bullied our back line or gave him a tough time. And Tanto did, and he's a strong boy, you know, and he's scored a couple of goals, I think, pre-season already, and he's a great addition. And again, he'll be itching to prove himself at a level up, but he's got a little bit of competition this year. You know, there's some competition for places, and he'll have to earn the right to get a starting spot. And then once you do that, can you find the back of the net to keep your starting spot? But I like the fact we've signed something slightly different. You know, we've got Matty and Kelman, I think, are quite similar. You've got Miles, who's coming back. That'll be like a new signing if we can keep him fit. And then you've got this guy who I think will cause a little bit of trouble for opposition defences physically.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, goals, not just relying on the forwards, if we can get it everywhere, including someone like Sonny Carey as well. He's also arrived from Blackpool as well and scored twice in pre-season, Liz. That's what we want, isn't it? Goals to midfield.
Yeah. I watched him this game as well, and it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because you look at the squad. I mean, even in this game, we took off 11, brought on 11, and I think that shows. And I think we've actually brought 2 players after that as well. So it shows the strength of the squad. And I think, as Curb said, I think midfielders have got to add goals in this division. You cannot just rely on your strikers to get you goals, even though we've got good strikers and different sort of strikers who have scored goals. It's so important that your midfield are popping up with goals, and he's someone I feel definitely can do that.
Yeah. Okay, let's take another trip down memory lane, shall we, for an opening day in 1993. And this time, Birmingham were the visitors to the Valley. Alan Curbishley, the manager, of course. The young lad Minto was wearing the number 11 shirt at that particular time. Not sure if Stevie Brownie was involved at the moment, but I do want you, though, to, Kev, obviously you were far too young.
Embryo.
Analyse the goal here, and especially the assist.
The wing play, I think, was that you? It was very slow.
I couldn't possibly comment.
But what a cross that is. That's a striker's dream. I don't know if you've meant that. I think you've just
Didn't play, did you? You didn't see me play.
You don't get a lot of credit. Do you remember when that ball through to Di Canio?
Yes.
And he went, Powell.
Yeah. and my ball was better than his, and yet.
And that cross, you'll go, good header.
Yeah.
Far post, good header.
But Liz, you'd have loved crosses like that, though, wouldn't you?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's different times as well now. I think as a left back, you're looking to get that and maybe turn back and go back to your half now. But in those days, you get the crosses in, and that striker's that's a striker's dream, innit?
Do we know who scored the winning goal?
No, it was a header, wasn't it? About
Phil Chappell.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. He was
Right.
back at the club, of course. the chappie.
Yeah. But
Stato.
let's hope we get that result against Birmingham when we play them again.
Yeah, absolutely, and like last season as well. Okay, back to present day, and let's review where we are at squad-wise, then, shall we? And Brownie, what are your first impressions looking at that?
Big.
Apart from that you need glasses.
A lot. Do you know what? They're killing me a little bit. I've had to stick the glasses on because I can't see it. But yeah, a lot of names on there, Scotty. And like we said earlier, strength in depth and lots of competition for places, and there's a little bit of experience in there. We've got lots of academy players that are hoping to make the step up, and actually, if you look at the Championship as a level, if you can get your academy players to break into Championship squads and sustain and then cement their place, they suddenly become worth quite a lot of money. They become big assets. They can break in League One, and it's a good ground in league to get them in on a regular basis. But if they can sustain a season in the Championship, they suddenly become worth a lot of money. But yeah, like I said, there's a split in ages. We've got a bit of experience. We've got some youth in there. But the great news, I think, is their strength in depth, competition for places.
Well, there's a lot of players there. I mean, there is a lot of players.
Too many?
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, it'd be interesting to see Nathan starting 11.
He wanted to trim the squad, didn't he, the second half of last year? But he's gone for numbers this year, and we'll have to wait and see whether there are
there's still time,
outs.
isn't there, I
But you
suppose?
need that. We talked about strength in depth.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see his squad. You know, the first 11 and the people on the bench, because there's going to be an awful lot sitting around. You know, thinking like they obviously already know that. You know, by the way the pre-season's gone, you know if you're in or you're not. And
But that is a problem for managers, isn't it? As you talk about, even Pep Guardiola last season was talking about wanted a small squads, and look at all the competitions they're fighting for, because you can't keep everybody happy.
Well, the biggest problem as well is training, keeping everybody involved in training, because if you've got 25, 26, 27 there, you know, to try and incorporate everybody in the first team training squad, you know, it's difficult. So you're going to have a little, I don't know what I used to call it, but the bomb squad. You'll have the group you're working with, and perhaps a little bit more than the 11. But then you'll have the squad that know that they're not in it at the moment. You know what I mean? And it's that group you've got to try and keep happy.
That's where Keith Peacock had to be at his very best, didn't he?
I remember climbing onto the bus one day, and I sung "Sitting on the Bench Again" in the Otis Redding, and it's the only time I've heard him go "Shut up." Like that, right? I went, I did the old "Sitting on the Bench Again." It's the only time I got. It's the only time I got a rise out of him. He went, "Shut up." But yeah, I think it's fair to say as well, that's a short window because of the playoff final, right? And you've got to get your business done before. You say all the time, business done before the first ball's kicked. The board have allowed Nathan to do that, and now you've got a month to maybe loan some players out or move some players on. But I think it was probably in his mindset to get people in and just get them in and get them training at the training ground before you start releasing. So I think that's why we're top heavy at the moment.
And I think that's brilliant. I personally, in my own personal opinion, think you get the people in as early as possible, and then you get people out a little bit later. So I think the squad at this moment in time looks great. Let's hear what Nathan had to say actually about the summer recruitment.
Now, if I was going to pick 3 words that I think a Nathan Jones player would have to have, sort of thing, I would say athletic, hungry, and disciplined. What 3 words would you say?
I would say athletic, I would say hungry, but I would also say talented.
Oh, I thought I needed a full suite then.
Yeah, but because what goes under the radar, I think, is we sign real good players, like players that can do certain things. What we do, we take recruitment seriously, really seriously, and we don't just sign good players. We sign jigsaw pieces that we think, what do we need? So we felt this year we we're going to go into the Championship, and it's a bit unknown for a lot of players. But what you need in the Championship, you need to be athletic. You need to be competitive and durable over a 46-game period, because the league is brutal and it's relentless in terms of how it is. But we want to do two things. We want to keep clean sheets and we want to score goals. And we believe we had a structure in place that enabled us to keep clean sheets, and we think we've improved the squad with bringing in the likes of Kaminsky, Bell and Burke, for example, defensively. Yeah. And then if you look at the players we've signed,
the goals
in the thing, we feel that we're very respectful that we've stepped up a level. If we were at League One level, then it guarantees that we can score a hell of a lot of goals. Now we've gone to the Championship, we still want to be able to guarantee that. So that's what we've done. So we've signed jigsaw pieces really, and we've signed some of the best players in League One, some of the people that have done it at League One level, that have had small tastes of Championship level, but that want to impact that and go again. Then we've also signed people that I'd originally signed, because a lot of people say, "Oh, you signed a lot of Luton players." No, I haven't. I signed.
What do you think about what Nathan's had to say there?
Yeah, listen, I think that when you win promotion into any league, you know it's going to be harder, you know it's going to be tougher, and it's a long, long season. And I think that he's probably said to the board, it was funny, interesting, score goals and keep clean sheets. Well, we was really good at keeping clean sheets last year. I think it might be a little bit more difficult this year, but you've got to be able to score some. So that's why I think he's gone a bit top heavy up top, because they're the players you just can't get, and he's brought players in that he thinks are going to score goals and do things. He was quite complimentary and enthusiastic about what business he's done. So, let's hope so.
Yeah, and we've looked back at a few classic opening days as well. How excited are we about this particular game on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the last time we came up, it was 6 years, and that's kind of how I sold it to get Powell back for that first game. I was going, look, it's the first Championship game for 6 years, and then that sort of sinks in. It's been a tough old slog in League One, and our fans should be absolutely looking forward to Saturday more than the opening weekend of the last 5 or 6 years. And I expect there to be 22,000 plus. Might eke a bit more out by the time we get to the weekend. We've got an absolute legendary visiting, in the for the Q&A in the lounges, and we've got a side that I think will be a great yardstick for us. They finished 14th last year. They were a bit hit and miss. They've got a manager we know very little about. They've signed players we know very little about. They're either going to be great or they're going to be found wanting, and let's hope it's the latter, and we can take full advantage. But I think it's really important we've got a home fixture to start, and we're going to get that excitement, that buzz, and hopefully the players can feed off that.
How important was that for you as a manager, Curbs, having that home fixture as a first game? And as we just said, it's going to be the highest attendance home opener for at least 17 years.
I always look to that and think that if you can win your first game, get your 3 points, the other 2 games, you want to get points from them. But if you don't, they may be both away. But if you don't, then, you're still going to be, not going to be in the bottom 3, you're going to be somewhere. But if you don't win that first home game, then you follow it up with a couple of away games, then it is a bit tough. But, me personally, I'm just so pleased that we're going to have a decent crowd. I know we said it earlier, but it does make a difference. It makes a difference when the players can't hear the manager. Don't it, Brownie?
No, because you had a whistle that could cut through 25,000 people.
But I could never hear the manager. No. I just blanked him, and even
but you know what I mean.
Games, I know exactly what you mean.
They're not going to hear every comment. The crowd when it's sparse, a little bit difficult. You can hear the crowds shouting out things and whatever, but not on Saturday. It's going to be fantastic atmosphere.
Yeah. And Liz, we've seen you make some impacts in opening games back down the years as well. How much of a buzz is it in the dressing room? Just tell fans what it's like for players ahead of that first game.
What I would say is it'll be a lot different from being in League One. So I think the players will have a different outlook on the game, and I'm not to say they wouldn't be excited if it was in League One, but to be back in the Championship, home game against another London club is a massive game. And one thing I did enjoy last season is every time we had a big game here, the players responded and they played well and they dominated games. So I think if we can keep that going this season, I think we'll have a good chance of staying up.
The thing is about this league, it could have been not Watford, it could have been anyone really, and the crowd will be the same, because the away fans are going to come here and hopefully pack that out. So hopefully we're going to get the atmospheres that we want.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't yet, make sure you get your ticket for Saturday. It is set to be an absolutely cracking atmosphere. Visit booking.cafc.co.uk to get yours now. Now, Brownie, you just touched on it. There will be a very special guest here on Saturday, won't they? The legend that is...
Jump the gun.
That's okay. It's not the first time in your life,
No,
mate.
no, I know. Go on, sorry.
Just relax,
Apologies.
it's fine. There's no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
The legend that is Chrissy Powell, of course. I mean, look, legend as a player, legend as a manager as well. And that word is bandied around very easily, but it absolutely suits him, doesn't it?
Yeah. Look, we all know him well around this table, and I think it's fair to say you will not meet a more genuine, nicer man. There's stories about him behind the scenes, you know, taking time out of his own private life to go and visit people in hospitals on Christmas Day, and everything you hear is true. And when you deal with him as a human being, and you're trying to text him to get him to do something for you as a favour, he comes back and he's always willing to do those favours. You know, even though he's an incredibly wanted man, he probably got offered work this weekend. He's probably turned down to come down here. And he's just one of the most genuine people you could ever wish to meet. And, you know, I'm not sure I should say this, but you go to some ex-players and it's about what they can have. OK, what do I get? You go to Chrissy and he goes, listen, mate, we'll put you up in a hotel. We appreciate some early kick-off. Don't worry about that. I'll drive myself down. He's just one of those genuinely nice blokes that, if he can do you a favour, he will.
Talking about George earlier, a couple of things come to mind. And whenever I think of Powell, I went to meet him in a hotel at Dartford when we were signing him from Southend, and I started talking to him about money, negotiating or whatever, and he tell you himself, he went, just give me what the boys are on, not what Brownie's on, what the boys are on. Just give me what the others. No, actually, he said, just give me what the others are on. I'm coming. I want to come. And as I said earlier, when he made his debut for England against Guardiola at Villa Park, that was a fantastic day for the club. Well, evening. Fantastic for the club that we had an England player. So, yeah.
Yeah, he presented here around about 12:15, so get in your seats if you can before then. But he is a real fan's favourite, Liz, isn't he?
Yeah, Pat, from the time he stepped in the building, he's someone I looked up to, and he's not changed who he is despite where he's gone. Even when I was at Cray Valley and we got to Wembley in the final, him and Carl Lieben came to watch, and it shows like he didn't have to get out of his bed. As Brownie said, he's a busy man who does a lot of things, and he came out to watch play at Wembley with Cray Valley. So that's the man he is, and it's no surprise he's a legend down here.
Yeah, absolutely. England international, nutmegged Pep Guardiola, didn't he?
Yeah.
Brilliant. OK, now Saturday will be a very important day for the club as we remember 2 academy players lost far too young. Last month, everyone at the club was devastated to hear about the tragic passing of under-10s player Ethan Adu Olaofe, and he will be remembered with a period of applause ahead of Saturday's game. Saturday also marks the 25th anniversary of the passing of Pierre Bolangui, aged 17, and we'll be remembering Pierre ahead of Saturday's game too. Information on how you can support Ethan's family and the legacy of Pierre can be found on the Charlton website. And on that sad note, we'll take a quick break and come back to you after this. Now, with a massive campaign ahead, we wanted to put it to the panel to see how we think we're going to get on over the coming season as well. And Brownie, you watched most of Charlton last season. Do you think there'll be a different style of football in any way?
No, I just think there's better. I think there'll be better quality added across the platform, competition for places. I always look at it. It's much harder to get out of a division than it is to stay in it. So I think we've already set our sights on. If I was to say mid-table, and then if you go that +4, -4, anywhere within +4, -4, that is where I think we should be aiming at. But I think Curbs is right in what he said earlier. Staying in a division is paramount, and I think that's paramount to the ownership, the board, and to Nathan. The last thing this club can afford is to go back down, and I don't think we will. I think we're set fair to be able to achieve that. I think there's some clubs in the Championship at the moment that are really struggling in how their ownerships are running their football clubs, and that could cost them over the course of the season. But I think in terms of style of play, you're going to get exactly as we saw last year. They're going to be fit. They're going to try and high press. They're going to have a reset if they get played through, and then they're going to be tough to break down when they're in their own half. So I think we're going to get roughly the same. But the one thing that underpins it all is fitness levels. I don't think Nathan lets anyone relax, and you've got to be willing and able to put in a shift for the team. I think that's really important to him, that there isn't an individual. It's unselfish running. It's unselfish work.
Because when you went up a division, and it is a bigger jump from the Championship to the Prem than it is from League One to the Champ, but did you in any way have a different mindset about that, about being that team going up?
Yeah, because I think it's going to be more difficult to score goals and to keep clean sheets. And Nathan mentioned early on in the programme, keeping clean sheets and scoring goals. But I just think the players he's added, I don't think things are going to change defensively. I think that's his backbone, and so this is what we do. But I think he's added people that might nick us a goal. And if we do score first, I think it'd be very difficult for some teams against us. And yeah, so I'm with Brownie. I think staying up is the most important thing. But, I think anywhere mid-table would be fine. And that it makes us more attractive next year. I know we're talking, but do you know what I mean? If we stay up and we do it comfortably, if you like, or whatever, just stay up, we're that much more attractive the next season.
No, you've got to have an eye on the long term as always. But Liz, what are the differences for you between League One and the Championship?
Having played in both, we speak about the way we play. I don't know if we're going to leave 3v3 at the back in the Championship. It'll be interesting to see if when we're attacking, if the manager's comfortable enough leaving 3 at the back, because I do think players in this division only need half a chance and they'll score. They're dangerous. They normally make the right decisions at the right time in the Championship. I do think there's a massive jump from League One. So it'll be interesting to see if we leave 3v3 and we're brave defensive when we're attacking. I think that'll be quite interesting.
Okay, look, before we go, we've got to ask you, Liz, about your sons. I know you're feeling like you could go out there and play yourself, but drop it, leave it. No, your time is gone. It's time for the next generation to come along as well. How many of your boys are at EFL clubs right now?
3.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Kyrie's at Culture.
Disappointment. Do you make sure he gets an extra arm around the shoulder at the moment?
Funny enough, the one who doesn't play works for UEFA as well.
Does he?
Yeah, so he does the media work. So yeah, he probably earns more
Brilliant.
than all them.
Maybe not in the future, because Kyrie's at Culture scored an excellent goal at the weekend, didn't he? Wonder strike.
Yeah. He actually played as a 10. He's normally a winger. But the manager was quite clever by the manager. He spoke about obviously it being the beginning of the season and teams tiring that towards the end. So he put him on as a number 10 and just said, look, go and roam. And as you say, he took a punt. He brought it down his chest, turned and put it in the top hand corner. And
I did send it out, didn't I? So was that Liz's boy?
Yeah. You look shocked. Lisbie scored a good goal.
Is that Kevin's son who just scored that goal?
Well, subject to blood test, but that's another issue.
I've done blood test. We're all right.
And for Kyrell as well to be joining Peterborough, who actually are well known for wanting to bring in youngsters and develop them that way, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Kyrell's journey and this season is going to be a little bit different to Kyrie's. I think Kyrie's will play a lot more games. I think in terms of Kyrell, I think once the chairman brings you in, it's quite a difficult one. Are you the manager's choice? Are you the chairman's choice? But I know they're very keen on him playing and maybe obviously developing and selling him on. But Kyrell's a really confident boy. He's scored goals wherever he's been, but this will be a massive jump. As Brownie said before, League 2 to League 1 is a massive jump. So I think he's got to be patient, understand the league, and I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, well, he's got a good mentor, I have to say. So I wish them all the very best as well for this coming season and beyond.
Have they got left foot? Have they all?
One of them is naturally both-footed. He got that from his mum.
Love that.
Who's coaching him there?
His mum.
They said he's got a good mentor.
You've got to use your left foot, son.
External. You've got an external for your mentor.
Can't show him on his left. Okay, let's just finish off then. We're looking at the upcoming games as well, because there are some tough fixtures for sure. What games stick out for you
None of them sticking out at the moment.
Well,
Bristol
I mean,
City, there's
the
Leicester, obviously,
graphics let us down a little bit there because I can't make anything out. The Charlton badge stands out.
Millwall's going to be a big one as well, isn't it?
Oh, that's the one on the right. Yeah, I can see the lion there. Yeah.
QPR,
I think that's one. Yeah. Leicester.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, you'll be struggling
Good
to
time
look
to
at
play
a game.
Leicester.
No, you'll be struggling to look at a game and think, oh, that ain't so attractive. Because there's so many big clubs, as we've said earlier. They're all big games.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
appreciate
Leicester
it,
Premier League champions just a decade or so ago.
Look, I think we've got a good start. It's here, and it's against a side that will finish 14th. And it's not the be-all and end-all that we have to win that game, but it would get us off to a cracking start and lead us into the next fixtures, which are tough. But I always loved, I don't know about you guys, I don't know about you managing Curse, but QPR away was a great fixture for me. One of my favourite away grounds because it was so tight, the atmosphere was so good. And when we pitch up there, we will fill that away end like this away end will get filled. And you will get 15,000, 16,000 in it. It will create an unbelievable atmosphere. London Derby, London Derby. They're the ones you wake up in the morning, you want to get there. Yeah. So I look, I just think you've got to sit back as a Charlton fan and absolutely embrace and enjoy the season as it comes, because it's been a slog for all of us in that League One campaign, and it just absolutely delighted for everyone that we got out of it last year. Enjoy what's coming our way.
You two in your new role as well. Well done.
Yeah, it's about. I've got to divide myself into about 7 at the moment.
Yeah, just the 7.
Just the 7.
It's the final one. We're feeling optimistic.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. It's a great league, and I think that we should embrace it. And there's going to be some teams coming here, obviously when we play away as well. But we're going to see some top players, and I think the quality is going to be a lot better. So yeah, and as I said earlier, the big thing about here is the atmospheres, and I think they're going to be here.
Okay, well that brings us to the end of the show. Watford here on Saturday. It's incredible, isn't it? It's the calm before the storm, because the atmosphere here is going to be absolutely fantastic. Try and get down if you can. There still are some tickets available. Thank you as ever for your time, boys. Thank you good luck to Nathan and the boys of this coming season, and of course the Charlton Women's in the Academy and everybody involved with Charlton Athletic as well. Should we go and celebrate my birthday?
Absolutely, we've got a bit of cake, haven't we?
We've got a bit of cake.
Yeah.
I've brought a bit of cake. And we should have a quick pint as well.
Absolutely.
Good luck for the rest of the season.